We see CBI as an opportunity to leverage what we do with our relatively modest resources. As a foundation, we're one of the largest in the United States, but we recognize that the kind of influence and impact that is needed to alleviate human suffering, particularly in disaster, humanitarian crises, cannot be solved by us alone. So to be able to associate and affiliate ourselves with other actors is very important. And we recognize that the private sector in particular is an important actor that needs to be part of that equation. When we have a disaster situation, the typical response is at the relief phase, when the human suffering is very obvious and acute. But the real solutions to a disaster are mitigating or preventing them in the first place. And once the crisis is over, dealing with the recovery and long-term development and sustainability issues. So those costs are quite significant and cannot be borne by public funding or foundation funding. It's going to require all actors to be investing, and the private sector would play an important role in that. Well, I'm on the executive committee of CBI, and the reason we were attracted to being part of the CBI, or the Connecting Business Initiative, is we see it as quite unique in the pantheon of UN activities. The second reason is that the CBI initiative is looking to the private sector for leadership. It's not entirely a multilateral international organization undertaking. It's involving the private sector and asking for private sector ideas on how it should be carried out. And then thirdly, it's not at the country level, which is where the action is. It is engaging already existing networks, which we believe need to be further capacitated and strengthened, but not reinvented. So those three aspects make the CBI initiative, I think, unique and potentially very powerful. Foundation support to CBI, I think, is one of the unique roles foundations can play in networks and initiatives like this. We can help convene. We can help strengthen the secretariat. We can help promote advocacy of private sector involvement in dealing with these huge problems, whether it's achieving the Sustainable Development Goals or responding to crises, not just at the relief stage, but in the mitigation and preparedness stage, as well as recovery and long-term development stages. So bringing the actors together, playing that convening and supporting coordination, I think, is a unique role that foundations can play. When you look at the challenges facing the world today, the migration crisis, and it comes in many forms, people escaping violence, people seeking opportunity, I call those the economic migrants. And then we have the climate change migrants, and this is a phenomena in all those aspects that is going to be with us for quite some time. So we need to find lasting solutions. We need to also find ways to mitigate the impact of this inevitable movement of people. That's not going to be done by official development assistance and foundation support. This is going to require all hands on deck. And it's also going to require a systematic engagement of the private sector, because I do think the resources are there, the ingenuity is there, and for too long they've been left outside the equation of this kind of response. And so I think CBI is bringing all the actors together in a way that I think we can really have an impactful response to these inevitable crises we're going to be facing in the foreseeable future.